Hi, this is Dodger, and you're watching my show.
Three, two, one, ready, go.
So quite a few friends of mine have been like, yo dog, you gotta get on that Metal Gear Solid. And I've never played the Metal Gear games. I watched my cousin play the very first one all the way through, and I thought that it looked super cool, but I had more fun watching him play it, if that makes sense. And so, alright, look, yeah, you can make it so that you basically have a fox with an eye patch in the game, and that is A+, but really the best videos that I've seen are all about Ocelot. So this is kind of news, kind of not news, I don't even care. I need to address it, because multiple people have sent me these videos where there's a character named Quiet, and she's a sniper, and she's dressed, you know, pretty scanty, and she does lots of like body rubbing for no reason, and it's just mwah, amazing. And so somebody decided it would be hilarious to replace Quiet's model with Ocelot's model. Oh my god. It's just so good. It's just like the best thing I've ever seen. Like, imagine all of those scenes from Dead or Alive Beach Volleyball, except with Metal Gear Solid dudes in place of all of them. It was like watching that, and I was so confused and delighted, and just, it's just wonderful, and you should watch all of them because they are, so good! I really love things that showcase the way that people are treated differently depending on who they are. Like, okay, remember, like 2 years ago maybe, when all of the different comic book covers that had women in super weird positions, people were drawing Hawkeye over them? Oh my god, it was so good. And it was so, I don't know, on point for the time. Like, just looking at it was like, why is he in that super weird position? Oh, it's because there was a lady there before. So, Ocelot, I guess thank you for being the Hawkeye of 2015. Mwah. Continuing to talk about Metal Gear Solid in sort of a tangential or side note sort of way, a lot of people were super bummed because unlike with all of the other Metal Gear Solids that have come out, there would be no signing with Kojima for this one, for obvious reasons. Now, it was unclear whether that was Konami's choice or Kojima's choice. I think most people assumed that it was Konami's choice, and that has been, I think, a bit more grounded in reality since the actual release. The reason being that Kojima totally went and signed stuff at random stores. Just like showed up all over the place and was like, you want stuff signed? Alright, I gotta go. Another store needs me. Peace! In the pictures, people look so happy. They're like, oh my god, Kojima's totally gonna sign my thing. He signed consoles, he signed posters, he signed the actual game. And like, for some people, it comes across as, well, if they're not gonna put my name on the cover, I'm gonna put my name on the cover, right? But I think in a much stronger way, it came across as, look, a lot of stuff has gone wrong. Like, I'm really sorry about that. I've done everything that I can, and this is really the best thing that I can do for you now. You didn't get an official signing, so you know what? I'm gonna go all over the place and just sign stuff for you guys, because you are the ones who made Metal Gear last this long. It wasn't even just Kojima. Shinkawa showed up too. He's the head artist on Metal Gear Solid, so both of them were just showing up and like, it's amazing. I love that, and I think it really, if we needed one more thing to make us feel this way, it really created this separation of like Konami as this business, this sort of like cold business, and then Kojima as more of a down-to-earth artist and developer who just wants to make good games, right? I think that in terms of him and his PR, I think that was a really good move on his part. I also really love imagining him like at Konami in a cell, right? Because we gotta take it to extremes. In a cell, like guarded by a million people, and he just slips under a box and walks out. A few days ago, Destiny had a big patch that changed a few things, but most noticeably, I think, was the replacement of Peter Dinklage with Nolan North. I can't help but feel bad for Peter Dinklage. Like, So many people hated his reading of these lines. I don't know if it was a direction problem because we know he's a good actor. So I feel like he was having trouble being a robot voice versus being a person talking in a robot voice, if that makes sense. Anyway, immediately people were responding to it with, oh my gosh, Nolan North's so much better. He's actually a voice actor, you know. He sounds much more like sort of a Jarvis-y, you know, robot voice, something that you would concoct to inhabit a robot versus a person who is speaking as a robot. Now for me, I don't know how I feel, because Polygon made a video that has line-for-line comparisons with Peter Dinklage and Nolan North. And for the most part, everybody's like, oh my gosh, Nolan North is so much better. And I do think that his readings of some things are a lot better, but at the same time, I feel like hearing them next to each other, Peter Dinklage stands out as a more, I don't know, as just something different. Nolan North, while he's a great voice actor, is a voice that we hear all the time. Like, we hear his voice in different aspects often, right? So hearing Nolan North as your little robot companion, it felt kind of bland, sort of, I don't know, overused. It's strange because I do agree that his readings were better. I was listening to it and going, yeah, you definitely made better use of those terribly written lines. But at the same time, hearing them next to each other, I was like, Peter Dinklage sounds more unique. But yes, if you are interested in Destiny's patch notes and finding out what all has changed, I will link in the description all of the information about the newest patch. And if you hated Peter's voice, now you got Nolan, because Nolan isn't in enough video games. Sorry, Nolan, I'm not meaning to rag on you. I think you're fantastic. I feel bad for poor Peter. So here's something a little weird. In South Korea, if someone online defames you, you can actually go to the police and they will owe you money. Now, think to yourself how often you've seen someone say just terrible stuff to you online, or just to anybody else. Like, how often do people say things that are just gross? And you think, man, if only that person could be punished. In South Korea, that's apparently what they're trying to do. Now, your immediate response might be, good, that's awesome. Maybe make it so that anonymity on the internet isn't all that, right? But currently, there are lots of different scammers who are trying to get money out of this through League of Legends. So how does this work? Great question. Basically what they do, right, is they go on League of Legends. The second that they're in a game, they take the time to state who they are, what their situation is. Like, give people as much information as possible to allow them to skew that information into an insult later. And then they play terribly, like really, really badly. But they're never BM, they're never like saying anything bad to anyone else. They're just playing awfully and obviously, you know, sort of trolling the game, I suppose. To the point where somebody responds horribly. It says something that they just cannot take back, that is really bad. The person then screenshots it, takes it to the police, and says, this guy defamed me on the internet. I want money. How do they find them? It's typically with IPs, apparently. Most of the people who are being trapped in this are kids, which really sucks, which means that their parents are the ones that are having to pay it out. So unfortunately, even though you might think to yourself, oh, well, terrible people catching terrible people, I don't really care. Like, terrible people affecting each other and ruining each other's day, sure, go for it. But when it's a kid who hasn't really developed to the point that they've, you know, learned how to treat other people, especially on the internet, with anonymity, and then their parents are the ones who have to pay thousands and thousands and thousands of monies to this person who has scammed their child, like, that kind of sucks. If I was living in South Korea and that law happened, I'd be like, all right, kid, look, there are things that you cannot say to people online because it will cost us so much money. The second you feel like telling somebody that they're stupid, but you need to clamp it, you need to clamp it down. Just don't do it. Hey, I want to sue this person for defaming me on the internet, right? That's very, very hard to do in America. So to see that it's so easy to do in South Korea is fascinating. Like, I wonder if their forums are nicer. Maybe. Oh my god, can we talk about Apple for a second? Ooh. So many tech sites over the last week, maybe even month, but like specifically this last week, have been saying, y'all ready for Apple to blow your minds with their gaming console? Essentially, Apple had teased that they were going to be doing some stuff in gaming. And in the past, of course, that's just meant like, on iPad you can get games on the iOS store. And so everybody was really, really jazzed to see what Apple was gonna do, and Apple fans were like, oh man, this is gonna crush Sony, crush Microsoft, y'all better get ready. And instead, the non-fanatics, like me, were not surprised to find out that what they really had to unveil was a new Apple TV. And the Apple TV is fantastic, don't get me wrong, but a new Apple TV that you could play some games on. Nothing that was really gonna be a Apple TV seller. You would still buy the Apple TV in order to have an Apple TV, but guess what? Now you can play games on it. And oh, by the way, we include a an Apple gaming remote. Like, come on. Is Apple really gonna focus on gaming? They already corner most of the mobile market. They don't need to think about attacking Sony or attacking Microsoft in terms of gaming, right? Like, that's not their strength, and they know that. So why, when they're already in sort of a heated battle with Android, would they start splitting their resources yet again to focus on gaming and a whole new war that they've never been part of? It's just not, it's not gonna happen. It wouldn't have made sense. But again, the Apple TV is great. Like, the last Apple TV was fantastic. So I'm sure that the new Apple TV is also going to be fantastic. It's just not going to be a gaming console slash TV, right? That's not what they're trying to make. They're just trying to create more of a all-encompassing home entertainment thing, which is what everybody is interested in. That's why the Xbox One marketed itself the way it did. But any of you Apple fans who are really looking forward to a possible Apple gaming console, it's just not happening. Get an iPad. Get an iPad, dog. And last, but so very much not least, can we talk about Pokemon Go? Because I'm so excited! So Pokemon Go, I literally just found out about this morning, and Octopimp was like, I can't believe that you don't know about Pokemon Go? What? Like, it's, oh my god. How? So Pokemon Go is going to be a mobile Pokemon game, which might make everybody go, oh, come on. But seriously, it's gonna be so amazing. It's AR. So you walk around, where's my phone? You walk around with your phone, right? And you're like looking around, and then Pokemon will show up through your camera. You'll be like looking, I'll be looking around my office, and there'll be a Pokemans in my office, and I can catch it. What? I am so excited for this. I think that there are plenty of problems that they'll have to work through. This isn't even coming out until 2016, but oh, it just sounds amazing. It sounds like the natural progression of Pokemon games, right? Like, to take Pokemon where it's walk around and catch monsters, right? And then have it turn into an AR experience, that just makes sense. Not only that, but there are going to be events that happen in the world, so it's going to be kind of MMO-y, which I'm really, really excited about, where you can be like walking around and your phone or your watch, actually they'll have like a little watch thing that you can also wear that'll be like, hey, there's an event happening, or hey, there's a Pokemon close by. But you'll be walking around, right? This is me walking around somewhere. And then your phone slash your watch will be like, hey, there's an event happening. There's like a rare Pokemon, so you gotta go get it. And you can go and find that Pokemon that has popped up in a very specific spot and is super rare, and then everybody's gonna be like, ah! And I just want so badly, I believe in a future where there is gonna be just like 20 people all rushing somewhere and whipping out their phones and being like, catch it! Ah! I'm so excited. Some problems though that Alex and I were talking about. Number one is, what if a super rare Pokemon spawns in your house and then people are like knocking on your door like, I'm so sorry, you don't know me, but I need the Starmie that's in your house right now. Please, can I just like come, I'm coming in. The other one that I super hope that they do is take Pokemon and put them at the top of like hiking trails or just like places that are really difficult to get to, so that people will be like, all right, I guess, wow, I'm gonna go for a hike today because I need that Pokemon. I would. That would be awesome. It would be so much like geocaching. It would feel like better geocaching to me. Just like, all right, I gotta go there. I gotta go there so that I can get my Pokemans. It's gonna be awesome. I'm really excited about it. I'll include the trailer in the description below so that you can also get so hyped about this because I need it. Anywho, that's been my show. Thank you so much for watching. If you have a positive or a negative response, feel free to leave it in my comment section. And if you would like to have coffee with me, you can click wherever I put the annotation and it'll take you to my other channel. But otherwise, I will see you guys again next week. All right, bye-bye. Mwah.
Go.
Catch it!